You ain't heard this stuff yet. Bottom of the notes.
Yep, bottom of the notes. Whilst we are away on a little holiday, we thought rather than just giving you best of podcast, we'd give you some fresh, hot con.
Yeah, Ben, I'm going to hand you my phone now. Just scroll as far as you want down to the bottom of the notes. None of the top stuff, because that's where the good gear is. You know, we'll get to that after the holidays. But, yeah, just find something, riddle it off, and tell you what it was supposed to be.
It's kind of like when you spin a globe and you just put your finger out somewhere. Yeah.
I'm going to Tahiti.
We are going to Mexican Pope.
Mexican Pope. This was a great bit that never was. So, oh man, this would have been going back. This would have been, 3 years ago when we started at Nova Adelaide. And I pitched this bit to producer Wolf at the time. This was before Andy days, and he said, "Look, it's probably not the right vibe." And I said, "Do you think we can do it if we become number one as a special treat?"
Oh, you always talk about...
I always talked about that, didn't I?
You never said what the bit was, but you kept telling me,
would have been great.
If we go number one, there's this thing. And then we went number one, and then you said, can we do the thing? And I think we still couldn't do the thing.
And I mean, I could, it would be magic, and I would like to still pull it together, but I can also see why it's probably not appropriate for the radio.
I'm dying to know.
So, Mexican Pope, I know it's weird because that was just the trigger word for me, but we used to work with a guy, Popey, lovely guy.
Yep.
At Nova, and I found out one day, right, that Popey has a voice notes section on his phone where for years he's been recording his farts.
Yeah.
So like if he and Mexican Pope was like one of them. I remember I saw his phone. He's like, yeah, it's a real thing. And he showed me, and the voice note was saved as Mexican Pope. And I said, why is that? And he said because he'd had like a Mexican that day, and then when he felt a fart, coming on, he would put his phone down to his ass and record the fart. And I, as a treat, when we went number one, I wanted to go through the audio file with Popey and play all of his farts.
I would love to
that would have
do
been
that.
the best bit. I was like, Ben would love it.
That's so
And I can
funny.
see why, like, if you had your headlights switched on, like, as a producer or anyone working behind the scenes in radio, you'd go, like, yeah, people probably don't want to hear, like, a dude from your work farting.
So
But,
good,
Stop it,
though.
Ben.
It's so good that he had them labelled.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
And to be honest, we could probably call the guy and, like, that would be a really nice treat for maybe
We
the
could
last...
just do a podcast thing if you really wanted. You could do a podcast
I think I would like to do that. Maybe when we're back from holidays.
Compilation, like, you get Mexican. And like,
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Well, I think we'd have to have Popey on the phone, and he would have to send the audio files to us, and then maybe he could talk us through the scenario.
Yes.
Yeah, of
Yes.
course. Because
You want to be there. You know?
have him in the studio.
Did you
as
see
well.
any other titles besides Mexican Pope?
I think that was the main one. I think there was... No, I actually do remember one was Wet Pope.
Because I wonder if he could also do like, this like midnight Pope, and it was like he woke up in the middle of the night and he had one. You know what I mean? Like I wonder.
No, they were pretty specific. Like, they were like after meals he had, and sometimes they were explaining the sort of consistency.
So gross.
in
Alright.
the title,
Can
he
you
can.
stop playing those, please, Ben?
Well, I'm sorry, but it's a podcast about farting.
Yeah. That one wasn't a sound effect, so I think might have been Bell on that one. But yeah, we will try and hopefully Popey's listening. If you're listening, Popey, feel free to email me or text me the fart files. That'd
One
be
of
very
the
nice.
great bits that
Andy,
has never been.
would we be able to? Would you be okay if we did a Popey fart compilation podcast?
He's shrugged.
Yeah.
He's like,
He's
yeah,
shrugged.
yeah.
Yep,
It's an
yep.
agreement shrug.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. So that's just something at the bottom of my notes never got around to.
Good bit.